When it comes to Lil Jeff and his alleged bodies, the rumours and theories tend to range from the absurd, suggesting that he's truly a demon catching all of these bodies, to pretty much complete denial that he ever killed anyone at all. But there's no doubt to me that Jeff was really in these streets though, with several videos circulating on Q50's Instagram years later showing that by 2024, Lil Jeff was indeed a hardened gangster riding around the city, constantly strapped with guns, ready to kill at a moment's notice. However, it would seemingly be a process of several years before he would become the hardened gang member he was known as today. In one of the earliest YouTube videos covering Jeff's alleged bodies, his rumoured murder spree stretches all the way back to September 2014, with his first alleged body supposedly being an 18-year-old who went by the name Mally Marl, real name Kamal Burton, who was allegedly affiliated with the 8-Tray mob. Although the murder itself would take place in the far south side in the Old Geld Garden.
How the fuck old with this nigga? What the fuck? This killer shit young.
Community. At the time, Jeff would have barely been a 12-year-old boy, seemingly gifted in basketball. He would have been spending most of his days training for a career in the sport. Also, according to a CPD spokesperson, Marl was approached by two men who then opened fire. The idea of a scrawny 12-year-old Jeff being mistaken for a grown man in this case sounding pretty unlikely. But for further context, even Jeff's own brother Boogie would have still only been 16 years old at the time of Marl's murder, albeit he would arguably always look older than his age. In more time, we'll likely learn much more about Jeff and his younger years as things come out, but when it comes to his deeds in the
Man, hell no, I'm gonna believe this little nigga already can't come. Not in no fucking 12 years old, boy. This ain't Afghanistan. Hell no.
streets, it's likely much more sensible to take his own account of his childhood seriously. As he would recount in his DJU interview, Jeff would allegedly truly get in the streets quite late in his life, around 2020, this being his last year in high school and graduation.
So around what age did you jump off the porch and start hanging out in the streets?
I'm saying when I came outside for real, I was like 18 type.
Okay.
I just turned like 18.
However, this certainly doesn't mean that Jeff's childhood was normal by any of broader society standards, as Jeff would also open up to DJU, saying that his father was not in his life growing up, as he too, quote-unquote, stood on business. This perhaps being a reference to Jeffrey Harris Sr.'s alleged time in the streets with the 068 C block.
Let's say back then he wasn't around.
So I was acting weird as shit. Man, it's bogus. It's cool. I'm dope, man. He be doing what he do.
So how did that affect you back then, though? Not having pops around.
OG stood on business, so you know, that shit didn't matter for real.
But moreover, as we know now, Jeff's big brother Jay Boogie had clearly been in the streets since at least the early 2010s, which would seemingly affect Jeff's life and his experiences growing up significantly.
And I'm doing that. I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother, so this ain't nothing new for real. It's the same shit I've been seeing. Everything I was doing, I just saw already.
One of these significant moments in the young Jeff's life would of course be witnessing the murder of Kenny Mack. Whilst another incident that affected Jeff growing up was his family house getting shot up with one of the bullets, according to Jeff, whizzing by right next to his head.
So can you tell us like who introduced you to the street life?
My brother.
Your older brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was he showing you the ropes?
Let me tell you, my crib got shot up when I was like 14. I was some stupid ass. The bullet that flew like right past my face. They had shot the back and the front. Then they blew the car up and set that on fire. It was busting. I ain't gonna lie, it was going on. That almost hit me, though. See what I'm saying, though? Shit like that play a part. All type of just seeing that shit every day. I was seeing it every day, see what I'm saying? So like everything they was doing, I was seeing that shit all the time. Just like I'm doing right now. It's just I'm a part of it now, so it's different.
Now, it's important to remember that while Jeff would seemingly appear in the drill scene almost out of nowhere, he was always the product of his environment, and that environment being one of the most dangerous in the whole of Chicago during the 2010s and beyond. When it comes to Jeff's time in the streets after 2020, when he supposedly got involved with the Bloodhounds heavy through his brother, there's still no shortage of alleged victims that are commonly or less commonly attributed to his supposed double-digit body count, with even the YouTuber who had originally published one of the first supposed body lists of Jeff spinning back with a new video sometime later, this time including only names post-2020. One of the more obscure names on this list of people that Lil Jeff allegedly took the lives of was an alleged member of the crew Hit Squad by the name of Lil Gutter, real name Ronnie L. Sistruk Jr., who would lose his life in 2021 around the same time when the young Bloodhounds such as Vert and Jeff would allegedly be responsible for the deaths of the 8-Tray members Clay and Crew, with Gutter being shot down on the 13th of May 2021, eerily exactly 1 month after the murder of Crew on the 13th of April. Gutter would be caught on the 700 block of 79th Street, this location being a mere 4 minutes walk from the intersection of 79th and Maryland, one of the main spots that Jeff and other Bloodhound members have claimed in their music videos. However, when it comes to any actual proof that Jeff or the Bloodhounds were behind this murder, the evidence seems to be slim to none, with this particular case further muddled by the fact that Hit Squad would have another, much more known member called Gutter 2, who would unfortunately also end up losing his life, in this case in 2015, allegedly by the Bloodhound affiliated set MTV 079, whose members have commonly dissed this Gutter over the years too. Another less commonly heard name in this YouTuber's list is an alleged member of the Evans mob called Black, real name Roger Lewis, who was a 33-year-old OG of his block, shot dead in a drive-by whilst driving in March 2022. The only problem with this theory is that Black's alleged killer was in fact charged already the following month in April 2022 and is now serving his sentence for the murder. Also in 2022, Jeff would end up losing someone seemingly very close to him, a man named Jamarian Loston, better known in the streets as J-Mo, who was allegedly part of the 06679 Alliance. There are some rumors that claim that it was this murder that motivated Jeff to catch his first body as revenge, this victim getting allegedly caught outside of a corner store or gas station, as Jeff and other Bloodhounds have implied in several songs. Later on, there would also be some rumors surfacing online that Jeff was supposedly even carrying out contract killings all the way in Milwaukee, with one Chiracologist dropping a picture in the comments of Jeff hanging out with some alleged local gang members from Milwaukee, with this picture being from a music video of the rappers Ghost, 53206, Super Throwed Fei Fei, and K-Rax called Plenty Missed Calls, released in July 2023. This outfit actually being the very same one that Jeff is wearing in his music video for the song N-Words B12, released on March 2023. In fact, even now, K-Rax still seemingly has Jeff as his profile picture on Instagram, which he likely changed following Jeff's death. Jeff and the other Bloodhounds would also later make several references to doing contract killings and to Milwaukee, with JB Bin Laden rapping in the song Run But Can't Hide that also features Lil Jeff how the Bloodhounds have blood for hire, meaning that they're selling hits too. Whilst Jeff himself would also rap in the song LA Freestyle how someone tripped and got killed and how he's in Milwaukee like the NBA team, the Milwaukee Bucks. Q52 would claim in the leaked song BH4L how people know that he has bodies from state to state and that he's clapping people in Milwaukee for money. However, while some people on Reddit swear that this is a fact, there seems to be very little actual proof to back up these claims, and it appears that when it comes to the more plausible rumors, these will begin not long after the death of Z-Money in March 2023, with one of the first alleged victims of Jeff following Z-Money's murder being a young man called Lil Pooh, real name Pierre Boozer Jr., who hailed from Jeff's old stomping grounds, being allegedly part of the Flipside set who repped the 93rd Street. However, Pooh was seemingly well affiliated in the East Side, with his brother allegedly being part of the 95 mob located in the Princeton Park neighborhood, while Pooh was also, according to some, allegedly affiliated with none other than Trap City, with him even having 067 in his Instagram profile name. However, there's very little to be shown about his affiliations on his social media. To the contrary, there's more to be shown about Pooh's connection with the Bloodhounds, although the reason behind these connections could be either affiliation or rivalry. Whatever the case, at the time of his death, Pooh was seemingly living far away from Flipside, Trap City, or Drill City, all the way outside of the borders of Chicago on the 1800 block of 223rd Street in the community of Sauk Village. There, on the 9th of April 2023, a few weeks after the death of Z-Money, police would respond to reports of shots fired and find an unresponsive Pooh laying on the front lawn of his home with multiple gunshot wounds, and his death would soon be ruled a homicide. Unfortunately, it seems that from the beginning, the police had very little to go on to solve Pooh's murder, and they would end up reaching out to the public in the hope that they would receive some clues or witnesses might step forward, but these clues would never seemingly materialize, and this murder remains unsolved. However, in this case, there are several examples of Lil Jeff seemingly claiming responsibility for Pooh's murder. For example, on the 9th of April 2024, the French Chicago drill aficionado Squid Ape would make a tribute post to Pooh on his Instagram, which would quickly gather numerous comments of people laughing at his death, which one commenter would ask what he had done to invoke such a reaction, to which Lil Jeff himself would comment saying that Pooh had been dissing Z-Money. Then, a few days before Jeff's death, an unreleased song of him was leaked online, the song having a bar where Jeff seemingly describes Pooh's death, saying how Pooh had dissed Z-Money and now he's gone, before describing someone waiting for him to come home whilst laying in the grass outside his house. This bar seemingly describing exactly what might have taken place before Pooh's murder. On Reddit, one commenter would point out how Jeff had been hanging out with members from Flipside not long before his death, whilst guessing that this is why the song was never officially released at the time. However, on Jeff's posthumous album Stepping in Blood, this song is indeed included with the title In Your Home. But what makes the matter even more confusing is the fact that one of Pooh's good friends from Flipside would seemingly post an earnest tribute to Jeff following his death. And to make matters even more complicated, Jeff by no means wasn't the only one dissing Pooh after his death. Only a few days before the murder of Pooh, a young man would be killed in the community of Park Forest during an altercation at a house party. Park Forest being only a short drive away from Pooh's Sauk Village community. As it would turn out, the killed man was not just anyone, but an actual blood brother of the infamous rapper and Chicago drill, Wooski, originally from the STL EBT set. His brother, who was called Lowski, real name Ladarius Williams, allegedly belonged to a set called the E-Block, and also apparently was part of a clique called Haddyway, which much like the Bloodhounds, allegedly consists of members from a few different sets and is named after a boy called Haddy, who was killed in 2016. This clique having been in a deadly war with JB Bin Laden's 400 East set for years. As the rumor would be, Pooh had allegedly had something to do with Lowski's death, and following Pooh's death, the members of the Haddyway would also seemingly claim to have been behind his murder. Meanwhile, following Jeff's death, Pooh's brother would rejoice on social media, laughing at how everyone who had dissed his brother had ended up getting shot themselves. However, who all these people were besides Jeff was not entirely clear, as it seems that Pooh was a known menace on the east side, as a rapper affiliated with the Mix Mob set called Lou Glocks would say in his tribute to Pooh. This being yet another example that Pooh seemingly had both many affiliations, but also many enemies on the east side. But then, coming into the summer of 2023, Jeff would allegedly catch someone that almost no one would deny being his likely victim. As mentioned earlier, the murder of Z Money would allegedly break down the decade-plus long affiliations between Trap City or Chris World and Drill City, with Jeff and his Bloodhound friends from that point onwards seemingly being consumed by their urge for a get-back for Z Money. In the song 333, which would seemingly first leak or be unofficially put out by Jeff's team some weeks before his death, the track would officially be released on the 14th of July with a music video that was filmed while Jeff was still alive. In the song, Jeff raps a bar about the Bloodhounds shooting so much on the Rhodes Avenue that their ops had to shut their trap down. This bar likely referring particularly to the Rhodes Avenue roughly between the 66th and 68th streets, which is one of the main areas of Trap City or Chris World. Indeed, looking at sources like Chicago's Spot News, who follow the CPD's police radio traffic, there would be numerous times that gunshots would be reported around that area during the summer and fall of 2023. In fact, in his February 2024 song called Striker, Jeff even specifically implies that they are the reason why Trap City's hood is so often on Spot News. However, the alleged get back for Z Money would surprisingly take place far away from the hood of Trap City. On the 25th of June, at around 8:55 p.m, Trap City member called Lil, real name Jaleel Goins, will be sitting in a parked rideshare car in the Little Italy neighborhood near the University of Illinois Chicago campus. This neighborhood, sometimes now called Little Italy or University Village, is these days a truly upmarket neighborhood that's experienced high levels of gentrification since its inception as the home of many of Chicago's first Italian immigrants, and the demolition of all the large public housing complexes during the 2000s. By all accounts, this is one of the safest neighborhoods in Chicago and one of the last places where one should expect to be a victim of gun violence. Nevertheless, while Lil was sitting in his rideshare car on the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, someone would approach the car on foot and open fire through the rear passenger window, shooting inside the car numerous times before running away. The rideshare driver would immediately take off and drive the seriously wounded Lil to the nearest hospital, which was less than a mile away, but by that time, it would already be too late and Lil would be pronounced dead upon arriving at the hospital. The local ABC 7 News would be at the scene later that night and the next morning, interviewing the locals who had witnessed the shooting, with one of them explaining how the police may have counted 8 shots on the car window, but she claimed to have heard more than 20. This perhaps said something about the type of gun that was used in the shooting.
Well, as you know, these are very busy sidewalks. Here in Little Italy, you often have people walking to restaurants, bars, and stores, and last night was no different. Unfortunately, a young man lost his life, and a young man who is very well connected to an organization that many people in Chicago and across the country are familiar with, Project Hood. This evening, a statement from the founder about condolences and their recommitment to the work they do.
Chicago police investigating a fatal shooting yesterday evening. 19-year-old Jaleel Goins was pronounced dead at Rush University Medical Center, but police and nearby residents tell us the incident began in the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, where Goins was a passenger in a rideshare and was shot. Then the rideshare driver drove Goins to the hospital.
I knew it was shots, and like I said, I was in my bedroom, and I kind of ran like on the side of my bedroom, on the other side of the wall, because, you know, bullets don't have eyes.
I thought that was it.
This woman was outside to meet someone. She tells me she was looking down at her phone, then heard the shots. She thought she had been shot, but she had not.
I'm down there on the ground crying and shaking and stuff. Pow, pow, pow. They said it was like 8 shots. No, I believe it was more than 20.
Pastor Corey Brooks confirms Goins was the son of an employee at Project Hood, releasing a statement saying in part, "Today, we are not just an organization. We are a family mourning the loss of a young life taken far too soon."
I'm still processing it because I'm still shaking.
Is it scary?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should be able to walk out our door, walk to get something to eat, walk to get the newspaper. Stuff is happening everywhere, but something definitely needs to be done about the crime.
Pastor Brooks tells us that Goins was a son of their executive assistant as well as a brother of their youth manager. In his statement, he went on to say, this reminds us of the need to stand together against gun violence. As for the investigation, Chicago police tell us at this point, no one in custody, no motive.
Following the incident, the rideshare driver too would open up about his traumatic experience, explaining how Lil had likely passed away already during the short drive to the hospital.
The rideshare driver whose passenger was shot to death in his car near UIC is opening up about the traumatic experience. 19-year-old Jaleel Goins was shot after getting into Robert Smith's car on Sunday night. Smith says he hit the gas when someone standing outside of the car started shooting. He rushed Goins to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
I was running stop signs and intersections to get away. So at one intersection I had to stop because there was a car coming through, and then I turned to him and said, hey, I'm going to take you to the hospital. And he said, okay. Then the next time I stopped, I had to stop at a light because there was two cars coming through the intersection, so I couldn't run it immediately. I looked back then and, he wasn't moving anymore.
Police have not made any arrest in this shooting.
The very next day, on the 26th of June, Jeff, together with JB and Q50, would drop their remix to Lil Yachty's popular track Coffin, reusing the beat and making their own version of the song with the same name. The song and music video had obviously been made a long time before Lil's death, but the timing of the drop is still pretty interesting given the title of this track, Coffin. And the music video for Coffin begins with Q50 showing an old video of Z Money to the camera as the title of the song is placed on top of it, and the video ends with Q50 making a Z hand sign to the camera, showing that the death of Z Money was certainly playing a major role in their lives at this point. While in the lyrics, Lil Jeff largely continues his usual antics, talking about toting switches and Dracos and killing his ops with face shots, as well as saying how their ops are sneak dissing and throwing subliminals, before ending his verse by saying how he might rob a rapper next while showing two bust-down watches fully flooded with diamonds on his arm. The implication seemingly being that Jeff was already deep in his habit of robbing people of their watches at this point, with him even rapping that he might rob a rapper that just signed a record deal. And for the record, these watches are serious licks. These aren't vintage Datejust that we're talking about. The two watches being shown off in this video are serious pieces. One is an iced out Rolex Day Date, which would be worth at least $33,000 if real, and the other appears to be a fully iced out Audemars Piguet Royal Oak chronograph with Arabic numerals. Now, I'm not saying that this watch is definitely fake, but I did do a lot of digging and I couldn't find a single listing for an AP in two-tone with the same dial layout and the Arabic numerals like the one Jeff's wearing in this video. Like, I couldn't find one at all. It doesn't exist. But I did find very similar configurations to the watch that Jeff's wearing, going for around $50,000 to $70,000. Perhaps it's an AP that's been customized, or perhaps it's fake, as I did find a very similar looking fake one for less than $600. But anyway, after dropping the song Coffin, Jeff would take a few months long hiatus from dropping new music, but he would still remain active on social media. During one Instagram live from this period that's still available online, Jeff describes how they are the reason their ops are dead or in a wheelchair, before Q50 notices someone who appears to be from Trap City commenting on the live how Jeff and Q50 are sharing the same Marnie mask, to which Q50 reacts by beginning to clap his hands, while putting on a smile that can only be described as devious, giving Jeff a run for his money for the #1 Joker of Chirac.
We the reason they in a wheelchair, they got shot or they brought a man.
Hey, who you talking about, boy? Hey. We was just talking on the phone, we was just cool, so who the fuck you talking about?
They said we sharing a Marnie mask. So first grade, we just had a mask that we, that's the hat.
What the fuck is that? That's a hat.
It's just like this.
The clapping of hands would eventually become somewhat of a trademark for Q50 when referring to killing ops or getting back for Z Money.
Y'all move out here. Everybody probably see y'all got the Z Money tattoo on your face. It's probably real noticeable.
You know that. You see that related. That's that get back for my man.
That's that get back for my man. That's that get back for my man.
Y'all basically let us know who that is too. We see y'all keep his name alive every chance y'all get.
That's cuz. That's our cousin, folks. Me and folks cousin.
You see photos,
real sandbox baby.
Let us know like the impact he had on the hood that he.
You see
it tattoo on my face. You see
that? Hey, look, relentless. That's like that. Look. The same I cried about, you know.
Anyway, more Trap City members would soon enter the chat, aiming their disses particularly at Q50, saying how he just came outside in 2020, and pointing out that he has Z Money tatted on his face but hasn't even known him for over 5 years, as well as saying that he used to be just a gamer, to which Q50 would once again respond simply by clapping at the camera.
Hey, why do niggas talk about niggas running? Oh, ain't no ever have you running, folks.
My damn
Hey,
neck on the
hey,
floor.
look though, folks. They got no money on racks, man. Hey, hold on. Even if folks came outside yesterday, guess what?
But they, I can't see no.
A lot of them ain't even gonna bounce.
That's a compliment. All right, the comments. They said Quill just came outside, got that man on my dick, on my L's. Come on now. On first grade, I've been just no.
Hey, L's, yo, just start doing used to ride horses in the hood.
This back and forth would only intensify, with Vert now addressing Trap City explicitly, while Q50 would reminisce about the times that he allegedly made Trap City members run, before the discussion would eventually turn to Lil, with Jeff saying how he can't even smoke with you if you don't smoke Lil.
I wasn't even talking about them good. They had some goofy to me now, because I wasn't even talking about them. I ain't even said that about 67. They had straight peons for me. They did it themselves. I wasn't even talking about them. They came trying to come into my life and be funny. Yeah, folks used to ride horses. Why you talking about some this, that? You know all that. I see where it is. What it is, what is that? 80 of them want to be so cool with 67, and that's what it is. I see that. Oh, man.
They say I woke up, started spinning. That's like you know what I'm saying? That's a compliment. Hey, L's on my dear grandmother grave. Please go stand on your block right now, and I'll finish show you just like I did. No.
Yeah.
So, folks, can we get half that list live today?
Off that Lil? You don't want to smoke Lil, I ain't trying to match. I ain't gonna lie.
Let's play a new.
If you ain't smoking my eyes, I can't smoke your eyes.
Then, after taking almost half a year break from dropping new music, Jeff would come out with a new song and music video together with Vert in late December 2023, a track titled Stretched. In the song, Jeff ends his verse by rapping how he caught one of his ops in a bowl, this more specifically meaning a fishbowl, which is a reference to somebody being caught in a car with windows that are not tinted, making them an easy target, with this obviously seeming like a clear reference to the fact that Lil was caught in a parked rideshare car. Jeff would later make the same fishbowl reference during one of his IG lives, saying how he's trying to catch a shark in a shark tank.
I caught it in a fishbowl. Trying to see if you would catch a big shark in a fish tank.
And a few months later, in March 2024, the Trap City and Lil dissing would continue as Jeff and Vert released a song and music video titled FTO, a common abbreviation for F the Ops. And on the song, Vert first raps how his old friends have become his ops now, before Jeff comes in, starting his verse with a wild opening line, saying that he left 7 people dead in his city, and this time dissing Lil by name, saying how he's not giving any passes and anyone lacking is getting smoked, before saying how they're smoking on a Lil pack. Later that same month, Jeff and JB Bin Laden would release their song and music video titled Run But Can't Hide, where Jeff raps just like Vert in the previous song that he's now beefing with guys that he used to be so close with and that they used to sleep in the same bed. This would be almost word for word the same thing that Jeff's mother would allegedly tell him in a text message, where she appeared to praise him for the murders he was doing in the streets and appearing to be in awe of her son's violent reputation, saying, "Go ahead, son, your name ringing bells in the streets." I said, "Is that my boy?" And going on to say that she loves to see him sliding on the kids who slept in the same bed as him as a child. With this old Instagram story from Jeff showing the supposed text exchange.
No, what? What? That about what the fuck? Hold on, fool. Wait. This shit need this put off my screen, man. I love it. Sliding on them niggas who slept in the bed with you. This should be funny as hell. What type of shit?
With this old Instagram story from Jeff showing the supposed text exchange with his mother going viral after his death and even getting reactions from channels like No Jumper. Dissing Lil and Trap City had now become a common occurrence in the BloodHound's music and would continue like clockwork. In the song No Tomorrow by Q50, Jeff and a rapper called FG Red dropped with a music video in April 2024. Q50 raps how he calls the last dead op from the 67th, aka Trap City, an Uber pack. And this was once again followed by that same month with Jeff's solo song Tony Montana, where Jeff raps how they're killing their ops while the ops are throwing up L's. This once again seemingly being a direct reference to Lil, as Jeff and the Bloodhounds would also make it their habit following the death of Lil to drop L's as a diss to him. In the song 333 by Lil Jeff, Q50, and the honorary Bloodhound member Lil Scoom from a set called The Burley Boys, that would first appear online in May 2024, but would later be released after Jeff's death, together with a music video. Jeff would once again seemingly reference catching Lil inside of a car, saying how Lil saw him and realized he was stuck. Even after his death, new songs would keep coming out, where Jeff references catching someone in a drive share car, such as one song that was aptly titled Lift. that seemingly leaked shortly after his death, where Jeff raps how he makes his ops disappear like magic and that somebody shouldn't have been driving in that lift. Jeff himself would also acknowledge that he was dissing Lil in almost every song on his posthumous album, Stepping in Blood, on the song In Your Home. There's also some rumors that Q50 had in fact gotten shot in the leg not long before the murder of Lil, possibly by Trap City, with Jeff and Q50 sometimes seemingly referencing this in their songs. Meanwhile, Trap City members were mourning their loss, with even respected older members like OTF Black and Trap City Rob changing their Facebook profile pictures to pictures of Lil soon after his death. However, the death of Lil would also hit very close to home for even Jeff himself due to his father being from the area that's now part of Trap City, and following his passing, many people who were seemingly close to Jeff's father would post their tributes to Lil. The rapper Tero, who used to be close with Vert before the beef between Drill City and Trap City, would also make a tribute to Lil in late 2023, saying how he wished he could get him back, to which Jeff would troll Tero by liking the post with an emoji that's hugging a heart. No wonder then that the very next day, Tero would repost another picture of him with Lil, this time with a message implying that the next year, the Bloodhounds were going to go extinct. This post, now seemingly eerily prophetic, giving what would indeed take place in 2024. But before 2023 would come to a close, two other people would lose their lives under mysterious circumstances, with these two becoming the latest victims of Lil Jeff, according to online rumors. In the early morning hours of November the 1st, 2023, a man and a woman were inside a parked car on the 8300 block of South Dorchester Avenue, which is in Mixed Mob's hood. These two were known in the streets as Lil Deuce, real name Donardo Buford, allegedly from a set called Foster Park, located in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood, located in the far south side. And he was with an infamous female gangster known as D Money, real name Desiree McGee, who is allegedly affiliated with numerous sets, including the infamous Woodlawn sets like STL EBT, Jaro City, and Taekwon World, as well as the E-Block Hardaway set from the east side that Wooski's brother Lowski was part of. While the two were sitting in the vehicle, the car was reportedly approached by two suspects who would open fire on D Money and Lil Deuce, shooting D Money once whilst hitting Deuce multiple times in the chest, with both of them being transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where they would unfortunately both be pronounced dead.
We're told it was around 12:39 Wednesday morning when a 19-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman were sitting inside of a parked vehicle. Police are saying the two suspects fired shots hitting the 19-year-old man multiple times in his chest. The 25-year-old woman was shot once in her torso. Both were taken to UFC emergency room where they were pronounced dead. As of right now, no one is in custody, but Area 3 detectives are now investigating this. If you have any information that could lead to an arrest, police would like you to contact them immediately. For now, we're here in the Mary Nook neighborhood. I'm Glenn Marshall, WGN News.
This is another one of the rumors regarding Jeff's alleged body count that seems to have very little proof going for it, and many drill fans on places like Reddit and Chiracology have seemed either confused about this rumor or have straight up denied it, with one of the few pieces of evidence used to justify this claim being a post made by Jeff on April 2024 when he would quote an unreleased King Von song whilst adding 10 emojis after the lyrics, with many fans considering this as Jeff literally listing all 10 of his supposed victims, with number 7 of the emojis being a so-called woman's hat emoji. This emoji then supposedly being a reference to D Money. Interestingly, Jeff would actually seemingly go back and edit this caption, switching the hat emoji to a princess emoji, making it even more obvious that he was indeed seemingly referring to a female victim. The so-called rescue worker's helmet emoji next to it, on the other hand, is much more open for interpretation, with one possible option being that the emoji's red color actually refers to the Black Pea Stones, who were known to rep the color red, with Foster Park, where Lil Deuce was from, actually being a Black Pea Stone stronghold. Or alternatively, Deuce could be symbolized by the crown emoji on either side of the princess emoji, crown being one of the...
Boy, this nigga is over analyzing this shit, bro. You know how much time and effort he put into this shit, bro. That shit wild as shit. Boy, his ass must make bread, bro. Folks could have been a doctor, a scientist. He and this bitch discovering niggas hats and shit, boy. Game.
The symbols used by the People's Nation gang alliance that the Black Pea Stones belongs to. In fact, in a tribute video for Lil Deuce posted on his Instagram story after his death, his family can be seen putting crown decorations on top of a cake for his 20th birthday. Following the death of D Money, Jeff would also boast on social media how the Bloodhounds were killing everyone, including women and kids.
Hey, lil' Fredo, what you want, lil' cuz? I still love you, folk, but it's like my little brother feel how he feel, and I'm around with him right or wrong or dead. Wrong, you know that. So it is what it is. For I wish y'all the best of luck, but we do spank ass, and you know this personally. For real, for real. We really kill kids. Bitch. If it get to that point, it make me mad enough, mamas will start getting all type of my shit known right. My shit really
up and purse fuck with my head, face ass, neck ass, back ass.
It's also worth noting that D-Money was seemingly close with numerous members of Trap City and would do stuff like promote their music and wish them a happy birthday on their social media. Moreover, some people close to D-Money, such as the rapper Flame, who is also from the SDL, EBT, Jaro City and Taekwon World areas, would seemingly diss Lil Jeff following his death. There was also seemingly some kind of connection between Jeff and Lil Deuce, as the two were actually following each other on Instagram. But while these two victims seem like wild rumors at best, the next two are commonly believed to be the work of Jeff and the other Bloodhounds, with these two victims in many ways launching Jeff into the spotlight and helping him rise to become one of the most infamous names in modern Chicago drill, as well as being one of the most ruthless shootings the west side of Chicago had ever seen.
Chop Lil Rock, you a dick rider. I'm game. Well, be. Yeah, well, dick rider. I'm just being honest, bro. Your ass riding that bike like a motherfucker, boy. Your ass need a license. But no, that was a good ass video, but your ass be dick riding. But nah, let me know what y'all think about this video, man. It's Otto.